What's going on, everyone? My name is Jesse. This is the Auditorium. I react to video game music for the first time as a musician myself, and today is, I'm pretty sure, the return of Megami Ibunroku Persona, which I think, I'm gonna mess this up, I think it's the first Persona. I think it's also called Revelations Persona. I don't know, dude. Megami titles, like the earlier ones, were a mess. They're still kind of a mess now, but at least... Anyways, Atlas. We're listening to Black Snow from the channel PSC, and then an interesting title here, Poem of Everyone's Soul. The arranged version, which I think apparently is only in the PSP version. I don't know. Atlas is crazy. That's from C-Punk Android, requested by Tomas and Neko Matcha. We'll talk more later about Atlas. By the way, Atlas rules. Currently, people are watching me finish Persona 5 Royal in the final episodes of Jesse's VODs. I'm pretty sure I've heard this soundtrack before, but it was like once, years ago. I don't know anything about it, but it's probably demons and collecting them. This is Black Snow from Megami Ibunroku Persona, a range album. I'm gonna guess this is Shoji Meguro, does it say? No. Hirohito Aoki. Alright, let's listen. This is way different from your jazzy dance stuff that we know now. It just sounds like Shin Megami now. Oh, I love that 80s. It sounds and feels and looks like Castlevania. Look at this. You know what's interesting? This game has a tagline. Do you see at the bottom here? Be your true mind. Snow. So much bass. It really does sound like, it does sound like Symphony of the Night type stuff. I'm guessing this came before though. I'm trying to imagine like the faces of Atlas fans that started with like 3, 4, and 5. It's like, what is this? I mean, I did too, but I've heard the music of 1 and 2 and other ones, so it's like, I like this stuff. I remember praising the soundtrack last time I heard the soundtrack. It's reminding me of, like, yeah, SMT. What is now SMT. You know, the darker demon world. Oh, I just realized something. The logo itself is inverted in the middle. Ooh. Which is also displaying in the artwork. You can see his legs are inverted. Oh, so this is showing like a alternate world. That seems to be kind of the main gimmick in SMT games, including Persona. There's like the real world and like another world. This is sick. I'm guessing this is an area theme? I don't know. These were dungeon crawlers, right? You guys have to admit, whenever you got into Atlas, you were probably confused. I'm barely getting into Atlas. And I'm like, Devil Summoner, Shin Megami Tensei, Persona, this, and it's like... And then they release games every, like... Or they release a base game and then an updated version. Dude, there's so much bass. It's like drowning out the treble. A couple of minute and a half left. I don't know how old this is, but it sounds like early 90s. I'm pretty sure SMT goes back to the 80s. Also, was that Atlus's first IP? Just a guess, because they've been doing it for so long that it's like their baby, or... It's so funny hearing this and then what it's become now. But that's cool. It's a cool thing. I have a lot of questions, so be prepared. PSC is such a cool channel. Black Snow. Okay. By the way, when I'm asking this, just know it's been answered before in great detail, so you don't have to do it again. I don't know what comment it's on or what video it's on, but it's been answered previously. Because every time I ask, like, I'm so confused by, like, Atlus's or SMT's naming thing. People numerous times have been like, okay, this is the first game. Here's all the iterations. You don't have to do that. I'm just saying, from my point of view, because I'm not going to remember that. You know? So, my mentality is just like, damn, this thing goes far back. I know it predates Pokemon. But also, I wonder what the first game like that was. Was this the first? Did something inspire SMT? And by that I mean like collecting a creature and then like recruiting them and having them be part of your party type of thing. Or it's like a main gimmick. Because even in Persona, the what we know now as Persona, that's still a thing. It's still very much a thing to collect these demons and have them be, you know, a part of your team, except I would say it's much less focused on that now. That's where SMT comes in. If you're seeing this and you don't know my journey, all you have to know really is I've been listening to Persona and Shin Megami Tensei now for like 4 years, but I didn't play my first one until last year with SMT5 Vengeance. Love that game. That was my game of the year last year. Played it like, well, I platinumed it, and now I'm playing it again. And Godborn with, I don't know, just for fun. And then because of that, I played Persona 5 Royal, which I just finished. Well, I finished like a month and a half ago, but people are just now seeing it. So it put me in this like Atlus mood. I'm like, damn, dude, Atlus is good. Good stories, fun. So, you know, I put Persona 3, 4, Metaphor, all in the backlog, Strikers. But I want to kind of just like hit the brakes a little bit. I don't want to go too overboard with it, because I know there's a lot of games. But I did notice, you know, the older games, that's where it gets convoluted and weird and just confusing. And again, I'm not asking. I can just look this up on my own, but there just seems to be a lot of like spin-offs, and I don't know. Oh, not to mention Soul Hackers as well. So I don't know at what point it branched off or to, you know, I don't know. But I could definitely tell you that Persona 1 and 2, when they started to call themselves Persona, or the Persona sub-series, totally different. I feel like 3 completely rebranded the whole world of Persona, what we know it is now. I don't know the story of 3 and 4, but I think they also have this, excuse me, this kind of like school theme. Even SMT5 had a school theme. I don't know if 1 and 2 had that. But man, the vibes are totally different. You know, this sounds like spooky and kind of creepy and more on that demonic world. Yeah, it's just so interesting to see how it's evolved. And I was also under the impression that this was all Shoji Meguro at this time. But I guess not. I guess Aoki has been around that long too, because I've been seeing that name still in recent Persona stuff too. I think. Either way, Black Snow, I can only guess that that's a location. Let me know. It sounds really cool. It really reminded me of not Persona. Symphony of the Night. It had a very Symphony of the Night sound. Now this is interesting. Throughout my playthrough of Persona 5, I kept asking myself, is this Velvet Room thing... This is a rhetorical question, by the way. Is this Velvet Room thing like a mainstay? How far does it go back? Because SMT had something very similar, The World of Shadows. So I was like, okay, because I knew every time you visit the Velvet Room, the song plays. But I also know that it exists in 3 because I reacted to it in 3. The Battle for Everyone's Souls. So now I'm seeing it here. The original Persona. Poem for Everyone's Souls. Which, apparently, this is only a PSP arrange. I don't know. Either way, I'm excited. This is a very catchy song. I guess this is not the original, but it's going to be one of the first iterations of the song. So yeah, I have a lot of questions. This is the poem the poem of Everyone's Souls. Persona. Arranged version. This is now my third reaction to the song, I think. Or a version of the song. P3, P5, and now this. And yeah, it's already like way lighter than anything. It just has its own mood. I'm trying to hear the motif here. Oh, I think I heard it. Surely it's going to come in, but I'm trying to hear it early. That was a pace. Dude, who's a singer? That's straight opera. Damn, dude, that's such a good melody. They like this so much that I just had to keep reusing it, you know? It's good. That's one of those melodies you make and you're like, 5 used it like a influence from this one. That's the pizzicato. Singer is killing it, dude. Notice this face here with the yellow eyes. This one, but more evil, which you can see here too. That is really cool, man. For me, personally, that's like one of the cooler connections on the Chol channel. Because I remember one of the best songs I heard when I first started the auditorium, and before I moved out of that first apartment, was the Battle for Everyone's Souls for Persona 3. I was like, this is sick. I didn't know it was this thing, you know. I just thought it was really good. I covered it on guitar. Dun 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 dun. Ba-da-da-da. So then when I reacted to it later, like 2 years later or whatever, in Persona 5, I was like, oh, it's that song. But obviously without the guitars and just the operatic voice. And then playing Persona 5 and spending a lot of time in the Velvet Room, and two of my favorite characters were always in there, Caroline and Justine. So that song is just super catchy, and it's so different from it just feels like it's probably an outlier in every game, maybe even this game. It doesn't sound like anything else in Persona 5. It's very much a unique thing. It's probably like that in 3, it's probably like that in 4, it's probably like that in 2. I don't know if they use it every time, but I would have to guess it's its own thing. So it makes me think, is this like the unofficial main theme of Persona? It has to be, right? It's retained its thing. I'm guessing they didn't really stray too far. Because again, I don't know anything below Persona 5 as far as mechanics. I just know they all involve demons and stuff. So I would have to guess, or assume that you play the game, you probably enter a Velvet Room or something equivalent, and then this just probably plays there. It's also kind of the same in SMT, when the World of Shadows has a song that doesn't sound like anything else on the soundtrack. And that's where you spend your time doing your, playing God, basically. So this is really cool. So hearing something again for the first time, feeling brand new, even though I heard this 4 years ago in a different version, in a different game, and it's on my third game experiencing this, that's pretty cool. There's also not a lot of songs like this in games, because then again, there's not a whole lot of games that have decades of history that are still around, especially at the peak of the popularity, right? Like, I'm pretty sure Persona is gigantic now. Probably, I don't know how big like 3, 4 were when they came out, but like 5 is huge. So it feels like in a way like it's just starting. But there's not a lot of things like this. The only other thing I can think of, there are, but what comes to mind quickly is it's the first time Sorry. I think it's the only time I've done this. It was like a special. People want me to do this, but it's not easy. But I remember I did like an hour-long video of Battle on the Big Bridge from Final Fantasy, and that's just like the song since Final Fantasy V that has been in multiple Final Fantasies since then. And I heard multiple remixes of it. I feel like I could do that with Persona, you know? If I had to guess, there's at least 5 versions of the song. Maybe more. Well, actually, no, because this is the arranged version of the same game, so I didn't even hear the original. And I want to hear the original. I don't even know if I heard that. Maybe I'll do that. Maybe after a couple years, I will hear, even though I've already heard a couple of them, you know, let me know how many versions of Poem for Everyone's Soul are there. That's great. That's awesome. And that shows just how much variety there is, because Black Snow compared to that was like a totally different game. Oh man, that's awesome. Thank you to the requesters. I can't wait to get more into Atlas next year. As far as this year, the only other plan is the Strikers at the end of the year, which wasn't even supposed to be, you know, in the backlog, but I didn't want to leave the world of Persona 5. So, yeah. Next year, though. Much more Atlas. Okay. Yeah, thanks to everyone you see on screen. I couldn't be without them. Thanks for watching. My name is Jesse. See you later.